I was still an apprentice. I was flown, as he had good connections with Furnace Withy. When he did die, I was in Canada. Well, I was on my way out to Canada on a Furnace Withy ship from Liverpool, a ship called the Newfoundland, and the captain sent for me to say that he'd died, and the captain actually knew my father. So when we got to Canada, I was immediately flown home, and the first flight I ever did, which was a very nerve-wracking experience to me because I was terrified, but they did get me home for his funeral. Yeah. So so a year after I started, he died basically in Manchester Liners office. Yeah. My father was at sea with Manchester Liners for all his work. Well, he was with Manchester Liners for his entire working life. I think he went to sea about 1919 as a deck cadet, and he came ashore in 1943 as assistant dock superintendent for Manchester Liners, and he was promoted to dock superintendent in 1956, which the job entailed all the cargo loading and discharging for all the Manchester Liners ships, and he had to plan all the cargo, well, him and his department had to plan all the cargo loading, discharging and everything to get the ships into Manchester and ready for the next voyage on a specific date. So he had quite a high profile job with Manchester Liners. Unfortunately, he died actually at his desk in Salford Docks in 1965, a couple of years before he would have retired. So again, due to him, his connection with the sea, probably, and having taken me to the docks when I was younger, things like that, and to look at the ships, and with my brother to pick him up on a Saturday lunchtime, I became fascinated and of course wanted to go to sea myself. The first time I went to sea, the first trip, I sailed out of Falmouth actually, not Manchester Liners, and we actually went to Canada on an iron ore carrier, and I think it was around October, and the weather was horrendous going westbound out to Canada, and I don't think I was ever actually sick, but for days the weather was never less than a force 10, which is very strong, it's storm force, and for the first week when you first go to sea, you think, well, I'll never be able to cope with this for years and years, but in actual fact the more days that passed, so you gradually get used to it. So there wasn't a lot of entertainment. People played cards and things. There were no televisions on ships, no videos. So your film show was once a week film show, if you had it, was your main entertainment really. Perhaps as I say, when you got into port, that was totally different. It was a slow ship, and I can remember it was because it was iron ore, and we were loading in 7 islands in Canada because we went out empty. We had to go on a lay-by berth for 2 hours to wait for the ship ahead to load, and we actually loaded 15,000 tons of iron ore in 2 hours, and the next thing we were on our way back. So for all that effort to get there, 4 hours after arriving, we departed and headed back to the UK again, and I just managed to get down the gangway and stand on the quayside to say, I've been abroad, I'm stood in Canada, and I got back on the ship, and off we went back through thick fog all the way home.